What's up, guys? Welcome back. Blue Lock, Michael Kaiser. Angry as hell, Michael Kaiser. So, let's try and draw this. This is a cool panel. And he's a cool character. So, excellent. Double whammy. Right. I guess the big eye. Or eyebrow, even. We'll start with the eyebrow because it's like arched really big. Let's go. Curving. Up, check mark. Up this way and kind of back. Real big. And there is a little gap here for like blonde colored. I imagine it's blonde. Blonde colored hair sort of in here, right? We've got like a vein and stuff up here and sweat and everything. We'll get the big eyelash. So big eyes in Blue Lock, like ridiculously big. So we have like, starting there, right? And it'll go like underneath the eyebrow and then out here. We'll kind of spike it. Goes underneath his hair, but I will imagine the way it goes. So it goes like down this way. This is like going to be real thick and black inside here, right? The bottom eyelid is thin. It's all sort of wrinkly and stuff in here. So I'm going to like make this like a much heavier line, right? So I'm going to like darken it up. So we're going to like go as dark as this, right? That's the way they are in Blue Lock. And then we can see like an eyelid line up the top. And there is like extra, like he's freaking out, like he's super angry. So like there's like lots of wrinkles on his nose and lots of like stress lines and stuff here. And then his iris. So we just got like a circle basically. And it's kind of like a broken circle. It's like it gives him an intensity, so it doesn't have to be like a full connected circle. There can be little gaps. And then his pupil is a circle as well, so it's not black, it's white. It just makes him look kind of crazier. Right, so across from here we got a wrinkly nose, so we'll go a few little bumps there, and then the nose curves out, and it always reminds me of like an upside down 7. You know, the number 7. That's what it always reminds me of anyway. And then a nostril here. And then just below that we have his mouth. So Blue Lock does the sort of lip on the outside of the mouth thing. And I'll explain. So we've got the skin of his mouth drawn in. And then we have the open mouth part drawn in. So the top of his lip is here. And he's like gritting his teeth, right? So he looks like super mad. Looks closed at the minute, but we'll just open it up by doing a little line there. And then the bottom lip line. We will curve this around. There's like a line for skin there. So they do a shadow in here beside the teeth, and like a little one here as well. And then we get his teeth line just here, sharp sort of fang, and then top teeth. And then they do the gum thing, so they just draw in black gums, like he has an infection. No, I can't help myself saying that. I had a bad gum infection once. I'm sorry. Why am I telling you this? It's crazy that so many people subscribe to this channel. Anyway, there's his teeth. And then, so what I mentioned about the skin on the outside, right? And like the edge of your mouth is underneath here. It's about in line there. Just what I mentioned about the skin. So his top lip comes out here. Okay. Then the bottom lip comes out here. So they draw like the lips, but they don't draw the lips, if you know what I mean. It's some animes and mangas do this. Right, and then we go down for the chin, and then he has a real pointy chin, and it comes back this way for his jaw. And your jaw, it's kind of like on this plane, right? Because the head is tilted, it's kind of like in line with the edge of his eye, and then his mouth, right? So it's kind of like in this spot is like across from here and down from that, like this way, kind of. I hope that makes sense now. In here, because his head is tilted, like it's not straight. And that's where you'll turn for the jawbone. And then his earlobe is here. And the top of the ear kind of lines up with the eyebrow. So it's roughly like there. Not like the end of the eyebrow, kind of that area. And then down. And then he has that, all the people in Blue Lock have what looks like a microphone to me, but not like an earpiece kind of a thing in their ear. I think it says balance on it. Is that right? I'm not sure. Maybe it says Blue Lock. Looks like balance. Anyway, ear lines inside. And then we just go over and do the other side of his face, his forehead, and start the hair. He's all about the hair. So we go sort of this way. I guess this would be his eyebrow, probably goes up here. But it's kind of not visible nearly at all, right? Very small. And then he has like a big eyelash line that kind of sticks out here and comes back in, and it's just colored black. And then his eyeball is drawn in. And then we can see like his cheek on this side. And maybe some of his iris. Is that right? There's like just a little hint of it. Like the round little part, just like roughly just there. But you could probably get away with not drawing that. And then we can see his like eyelid going out to the eyebrow there. So it's very thin, barely visible. And then the brow and the forehead goes up this way. bits of sweat on his, I think there's a bit of a shadow in his nostril there as well. It kind of looks like a saggy as well. It's kind of weird. I think all the faces in Blue Lock are pretty similar. The eyes, they're all the same. Right, and then his hairline. So this is what makes him look like Kaiser. So we go zigzagging that way. And this is like where the part in his head is. So he's got like a fringe part in his hair, sorry, not his head. That'd be weird. He's got lots of texture here. And it goes that way and then down here. So I hope they do a good job animating him. So far, I gotta say, now this might trigger people, the manga is better than the anime. I'm sorry. The anime is good. Like the first season I loved. Second season, meh. Like story's great. I mean, you can't fault the story. But I would like, you know, like a big studio company to take it and do ridiculous animation with the soccer, you know, the football. I wish. Bigger budget, you know. But anyway, I'll take what I can get with Blue Lock. It's great. I love it. So all this hair coming down here. So he's got this long piece right here. And they're kind of square on the end. You know, so they're not like real spiky. They're kind of like flat, some of them. It's like Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. You know, that kind of flat style of hair spike. It goes, he's got the mullet, so it goes along that way. But I'll deal with the front and then go down his neck, perhaps. So we'll go this way. Okay, and then it all like hangs down here, so it's kind of cut off by the panel. So I'll try and use my imagination here, like how I think it would look. And then just like another one, I'll make this one spiky. Okay, so we're gonna, it'll probably go off my page. It goes off in the panel as well, so. Right, so then he's got the long part of his hair that comes down the back of his head, right? So we just start doing all these big spikes coming down here. As they like flick out, it's real feathery kind of. It's the best way I can explain it. It's like, I'll simplify them a bit. And there's some in here as well, but I'll get the basic shape. So this is when it gets like real long. And like there. And it comes out from behind his ear, right? Like there. And then it spikes onto the neck. Right, and then there's like all sorts of textures in here as well, so you gotta like do some of them. Trying to make it look kind of spiky in here for his hair. Okay, and the light comes down over his body and comes around this way. Is that the long one? So there's two long ones as well. So there's a long one here and here. And then it's all fluffy kind of in here. So just adding spikes. Textures, and I'll just end this one maybe that way. And I'll do this one. Just carving around like that. Textures on it. Right, so that's his hair basically. So the front of his neck comes down from his chin. We get an Adam's apple down there, and then his neck here, and there's that big rose here, and I will do that because it's done in black, so they do it like real clear. So we'll just get the back of his neck in there first, and then we'll do, he's grabbing his own shoulder, so we'll get this, and I'll come back and we'll do the rose, right? And there's some maybe one or two veins on his face I missed. We'll go this way. So what is this? It's like round here. And then his back goes down this way. And he seems to have like some energy or something coming off his back. You know, that black stuff that they do in Blue Lock. And we'll do some of the white stripes. They're kind of wavy because the fabric of his clothing is moving across his back, so it's not straight lines. Kind of easier to draw in my opinion when you do it that way. I think it goes up that way then. And then we got Kaiser written there, so his shoulder goes there. And then there's like a hand in here. I'll do the Kaiser lettering, just block lettering. You could use a stencil if it's not your thing, you know, to do this. You could do it like just normal kind of writing as well if you wanted. So K, A, you know, and then block it off. Got the inside triangle. Kaiser R. Me trying to spell. Thank God for YouTube. I won't be able to do anything else. 10 down here, so we can just see the top of that. Right, so fingers grabbing his own shoulder. So coming in over. So we got some knuckles. Coming around, index finger. Like that, just get the shapes in. Next one. Just grabbing the shoulder, right? And I'll come back and do fingernails and all that on them. One. Is that his thumb? Oh, that's his thumb. I was like, why does he have 5 fingers? Okay, it's his thumb. I had to check there for a second. Okay, just up over the knuckle, down to the next knuckle, and then around. And then we have fingernails. So like that's his thumbnail. I think it's very small for a thumbnail. Maybe I'll make it a bit bigger. Alrighty. The robes. Okay, so this is kind of complicated. So I'm going to start in the middle and flower my way out, right? So we got these 2 little sections here, and you got to leave a gap between all the shapes. So 2 triangles to get you started, just there. And then there's a big one underneath it. Yeah, keep going. Black. It's kind of tricky now. Hit pause a lot, you know, if it's go at your own pace. If it's challenging. So I know I'm not saying that really, but there's nothing to say really. You just have to follow your shapes as best you can, try and get them drawn in. Right. I think that's it. Kaiser from Blue Lock. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.